All right, welcome to the Cold Emailing 101 video, where I teach you how to turn cold emails into warm conversations. If you have seen any of my videos before, you may have even noticed that I had actually put out a different cold emailing video. I wanted to re-record this one because I wanted to actually improve the content in terms of my advice and give you up-to-date recommendations on how to write effective cold emails, as well as give you improved audio. So hopefully you find that the case. If you haven't seen the first video, well, no worries, this one is better. Okay, first thing to cover with emails is obviously subject lines. It's kind of the first thing that you see when you're a prospect or um, a potential customer. And so wanted to start off with that. I do also want to add that the advice in here is based on data from Gong and President's Club. You can feel free to Google them if you don't know what they are. But the idea is basically tens of thousands, if not more, maybe hundreds of thousands or even millions of emails are analyzed in terms of what works and what doesn't. And so the advice I give in the subject line portion as well as the email body portion, much of it is based on that. So you can have confidence that I'm not just going off of one person's experience, but based off of experience of um, many sales reps. Okay, so getting on with it, you want to keep subject lines lowercase in between 1 and 4 words. So you also don't want to use numbers or stats or any kind of gimmicks like a blank subject line. All that's kind of corny. It doesn't work well. And you're not pitching, but you are focusing on priorities, problems, or aspirations of the customer. Okay, going into what it should not look like, excuse me for my cough, is how MongoDB can help you break into EMEA, right? This is product focused and this sounds kind of gimmicky. Another one, helping developers build 38% faster. As soon as you might sound nice to like include numbers, but they don't work. The data reveals that. I just made up Project Optimist. This is not a real project, but um, imagine a customer, you hear about an initiative called Project Optimist. Um, this is a pretty long subject line, and it feels kind of like salesy and gimmicky. Okay, so now going into good examples for what each of these might look like. Expanding to EMEA, right? Short, to the point. You reveal that that maybe you picture you're emailing a director of engineering. You know they want to, you know that you've learned that they want to break into EMEA, so you write that. Developers building slowly. You call that a problem. It's not gimmicky. It's to the point. Project Optimist. You call out a project that you're aware of, but you're not coming across as too pitchy. Okay. Uh, Hope this makes sense. Keep it short. Keep it to the point, and make it relevant to the customer. And don't pitch yourself. Okay. Okay, email body. There is actually a ton of terrible advice out there on LinkedIn and YouTube regarding emails, and many people give their thoughts, but many people give bad thoughts, and so the problem is there's many people giving confident bad advice, and so often newer sales reps listen to it and shoot themselves in the foot. So again, the big picture is you want to be focusing on what works at scale. Okay. So like I said, the major issue, many people actually had success with bad emails. And so they try to tell you to copy them, right? So uh, many emails work, but it's not because they were really good emails. It's because the timing was great. And so what can happen is people can often falsely associate success with the wrong things. And so I iterated already above in the subject lines, but I want you to I'm trying to base everything off of what is optimal, not just what works for me. And so, like I said, for this portion as well, I spent lots of time pulling data from Gong and reading articles for what works. And so that's what my advice is based off of. Okay. I read out 4 potential emails. You can read more about like when I would send these emails, what time of day, and like how much you should space them in my cadences video. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or my school community, that should be easy to find. I think it's called which outreach cadences to use and when to use them. So look more at that. But email 1 should be, hey, first name, and then go straight into something you saw. Here, you're hitting them something along the lines of imagining it can be tough to navigating GDPR requirements. It shows you understand their business and shows you kind of like understand you throw out basically a potential pain of what you imagine is tough for them. Again, notice you're not saying I'm so and so and my name is do this and I do this. It's like they don't care about you. And also you're not. I think it's weird if you're like, I saw that you got promoted. Congratulations so much. It's not relevant to them, or something from their LinkedIn, like saw you're a Cubs fan. That's kind of corny. Okay, so right into like why you're reaching out to them. If they're on their cell phone, they'll see that first sentence. Imagine it can be tough navigating GDPR requirements, so you're calling out potential pain, and then you share exactly how you helped. Uh, Ideally, a competitor, because that will make their ears perk up. And it's also important to explain how you did it, right? If you just say we helped them expand to EMEA in just 13 weeks, and you don't share how, it creates doubt and skepticism. But if you say something like by securing customer data, setting clear access rules, and maintaining data isolation, again, use simple, clear language, that actually piques someone's interest. And then very simple CTA, call to action, worth a chat to hear how. Don't say like, are you available at such and such a time? It's like a little bit too much pressure, a little bit too salesy. You want to reduce sales resistance as much as possible. Okay. And a lot of people say, hey, don't you want to give out, sorry, for the next email, I recommend a bump. And so what I was saying is a lot of people will give advice like, you want to add value every time. I can say from experience and also from, like I said, from Gong and President's Club, just a bump. Have you had a chance to review my previous note? Any thoughts on my previous note? It's simple. It makes your life easier, and it works the best. So win, win, win. Okay, and then I like to send a third email. I acknowledge this. You don't have to do this part, but acknowledge, hey, I know I shot a couple of notes over. And again, for 3 and 4, these are more for high value targets. If the customer hasn't replied to 1 and 2, odds are they're not going to reply, but it's worth a shot for like higher value target customers that you really want to meet with. So here I just recommend adding in another value point of your product. Like here you said GDPR requirements. Maybe there's something else that some other pain point that you think that the customer might have. And here would be a good chance for you to like come in with another value add for what your product can do. And again, I would phrase it exactly like this in terms of something you're aware of, acknowledging their pain, and then exactly like how you solve that for somebody else. Very simple. And then a CTA, a call to action. And then step 4, again, this is, like I said, not necessary for most prospects. Most people will not reply to this, but I was surprised. A lot of people say don't send like a breakup email, but actually breakup emails work quite well. I think there's something that in prospects where they might be afraid that you have something for them, and that if you stop reaching out to them, they're kind of afraid that they'll miss out. And so it kind of creates a little bit of FOMO. So you acknowledge might not be the right time, and you're basically breaking up with them. And then here you can give them something. You don't even have to attach a link or a white paper. This is just like, I would say only do this if there's actually a white paper you have that you are confident the prospect would find beneficial, right? So YouTube video, make it short. Don't make it 20 pages long. Nobody's going to read that. Even if they ask you for white papers on cold calls, nobody reads 20-page long things. You want it simple, something that you think they would find beneficial, right? So link that there, and again, kind of overlay like how you actually helped in that video. Okay, or this could be like a new feature release that is specific to how it would help them. If you can't articulate why this resource would be helpful to them, don't send it. It's a waste of time. Okay. Getting onto notes, I've probably said some of these things already, but it's worth iterating. As always, make your email about the problem you solve, not your product, right? So you don't want to talk about how amazing your features are, how awesome your new releases are. If you talk about your new features and new releases, talk about how they will solve something for the customer. Okay, this is about them. Be customer centric. This is not about you. Point B is basically the exact same thing. As always, make it about the customer, how you could solve their problems, not about your product. essentially the outcomes of what your product solves. Okay, I said this already briefly. I don't like stalker info. Um, one, because it just sounds kind of creepy and it just sounds like you're reaching. So if your first sentence is, "Oh my gosh, I saw your uncle went to the same college as me on LinkedIn." That's weird. It's not relevant. Don't do that. Um, and especially I'll add, now that AI is like scraping LinkedIn information and trying to personalize emails, it just looks like AI wrote it when you personalize with random facts. So don't do that. Um, I did say something with alma mater is fine, but again, I think it comes across as corny fake. So yeah. Oh, keep emails short to the point. 3 to 4 sentences like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and under 100 words. Uh, try and give something. Don't ask for a meeting. Right. So worth a chat to hear how we helped competitor. And then you're trying to give before you try to give before you get. Uh, if they reply yes, worth a chat, then you can reply with 2 to 3 times. So I uh, as well as Gong recommend don't give them times um, until after they reply back. So after it's like it becomes a warm conversation, then you suggest times. Okay. Spend most of your time personalizing on the first email. Uh, Most people, if they're going to reply, will reply to the first email or the follow-up. There's a lot of evidence and data behind that, which kind of makes sense because you're coming in with your strongest point of view first up. After they don't reply to the first and or second video, don't worry about personalizing. And in the second, you're not personalizing anyways. So uh, it's it's just not worth your time. If it's a really high value contact, you can try to personalize an email 3 and 4, but I like to have a lot of those things preset and might change a few words depending on who I'm talking to. But it's better for you to reach out to a new prospect, in my opinion. I highly believe this. Spend time personalizing a new first email to someone else and try to automate steps 2 through 4. And by automating, I don't mean don't looking at them and scheduling them. I mean just putting less personalization to them. I don't like sending any email without me being able to hit send. And I think you should too, because it can get really awkward if you put bad information in there or what have you. Like I said, breakup language can be corny, but it actually works. So this sentence in email 4, it works, and you should consider it. Another thing is, a last piece of mindset I'll give you is be patient. Sometimes you'll get emails back months later, and so yeah, with that I'll just say um, I've had multiple opportunities open up because months after my four email chain, someone must have remembered I was from MongoDB and got the email and then reached back out saying, hey, we actually would love to work on this. So if you do a good job with your emails, you don't come across as too pushy, like don't be really obnoxious and annoying, space out your emails a couple days at least, then often, or maybe not oftentimes, but occasionally you will get people replying back once they're interested. So that is all I have to say on that front. If you have additional questions, um, as always, check out the SDR Accelerator School Community. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will put the link to the school community in the description and the pinned comment below, and you can join for free. If you're already inside of the SDR Accelerator community, thank you for joining, and feel free to ask me questions, DM me, and also make sure you watch the other videos that are relevant inside the playlist. So thank you so much, and talk to you soon.